So yeah, hopefully that will be better. It's on. But I can copy it and yeah, I can. When you edit it, you can edit it. So once I see myself.
I'll just see, go, you go.
Yeah.
Go.
Yeah.
That's better. Yeah, much better.
Yes. Well, yeah. We'll. Now. Do you have Michelle? Do you have one?
No.
Okay. This is the lady that we're drawing today. Girl.
I've got his, I can see his and then I'll have it later.
Mhm. Yeah, but you have one.
I will have one
Okay.
in a minute.
Yeah. Now, how to start this one? Look, first of all, one thing that I see correlating is this one here. Look. A line. What is this one here? You have that. That goes from the cheekbone. It's kind of it goes up here. Look. From the cheekbone, maybe down to the chin. And we have also another, it's like a square, look. It's roughly a square here, which is basically square. You got that, and that's where the chin is. And this is, but the square, it's not horizontal, the square is angular. Square is angular this way. There it is. And the cheekbone, as I said here, that's the angle of hair with a roughly neckline. And on the square, I have these beautiful curls which they exceed the square. If the square is here, the curls are up and down here. You've got plenty of curls, and they all come from that side. So there's a movement of lines moving that way. So the curls are sort of this way here, shadowed this way. And the curls here. And as I'm moving from left to right, I can do that line here, which is a cheekbone. Look, from the curl, that shadow moves right at the cheekbone here. And then you have a dark shadow from the cheekbone side of the cheekbone down here. All that dark line, sideways, side line and shadow. And eyebrow with eye cavity, the eye cavity, something like this. They're all approximate, as you can see. Nothing is set in stone now. That's going to be. That is what is going to not to be moved. That's all. So these are all approximates. And you have the mouth, chin, head, eye and forehead, hairline, and darks for the hair here. So square at the beginning, square. Obviously the square is not there, we're just imagining a square because it's not very clear that is, but that's the square. And that line which connects hairline with the neck, then that one, which is basically a straight line, which creates a triangular shape here, this one. And this is the triangular shape that I have here. And then you've got the neck here, and obviously that. The shoulder blade, and shadow here. Dark, there. Eyebrow, the nose, it's closer to the eyebrow, there. Softer. Forehead, hairline, and a little bit darker shadows here. And darks here. There. Shadows. Middle tones here, and middle tones here, and then very, very bright light here. So the lightest light is there. And the rounded eye, and she's looking down, it's softer, but it's not. See, I'm keeping that line or that highlight not as bright as the forehead here. I'm talking about this one. The bulge of the eye, and then she's looking down, eye and kind of a shadow under the eye here. And then this, which is basically the side of the nose here. And cast shadow of the nose onto her upper lip. And the cast shadow goes to the lower lip as well. Now, it feels to me that the nose is a bit too long. But for the time being, instead of narrowing or bringing up the nose, I can play around. See, I've just done a highlight. That makes the nose shorter straight away, which is basically the nostril. Get rid of that so we know what we're talking about. Then the side of the nose, it's softer. Plus, on my drawing, I've done the nose with a very sharp angle. I think it's a bit straight down here, straighter nose, right there, right there. Then you have highlight on the tip of the nose, which is this one, that one. And then here. And then you have upper lip, lower lip, and the chin, which is very, very, very soft here. I'm gonna be too dark with that, but I can soften that, and the chin is softer there. There. Everything there, it's much softer. So what I like about, as I said to Jane, is that it's that very, very dark hair, which comes and it just creates those beautiful shadows, and the alabaster skin tone that you've got here. So it's something to keep an eye and do and create the shadows as soft as you can, to create that middle tones, those soft shadows. They are everywhere here. The eyebrow, looking down, as I said, nostril, up, lower lip. Lower lip is actually darker than the upper lip. And you got here. And obviously the jaw coming up here. And this is quite dark here. That line that I said is the line of the hairline, it's actually neckline as well here. That is quite dark. And it's softer, dark on the side, softer here. That's how you get these middle tones here. And the whole thing is a bit darker, the shoulder blade, with this line here. I'm talking about this one here. There. And hair, the end of the hair, in the horizontal line, is right on the other side of the mouth. So if the hair is down here, then you have the curls. They're all very dark. Actually, they are as dark as the dark here on the neck. But you have some highlights here. You will see when you take the painting, when you take the drawing, the picture there. You have some few highlights which are here. These curls are coming through, and here moving towards the hairline there. And I've gone too sharp and dark there. It's a bit less dark on these sides, and some shadow or charcoal dust. Look here. Take the dust and then move it around here. There. And also those curls, which they do become part of the skin tone here. And then you have half tone here, half tone, curls all around here. Here, this one, dark, curls are here, dark here, and dark here. I'm basically having a lot of darker tonal values here, where I see that you have a bunch of hair, which is all that. Then you have another one here, which becomes that beautiful curl, which is this one here, and you have another hair here, or group of hair. This one here. You notice it's a lot lighter in parts. Let's say with a putty rubber, you'll come and do all those. But I don't want to brighten it as much as that, because no matter what, she looks blonde, doesn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's because the hair is pretty much the same. So don't want to brighten it too much, because I want to let those highlights only for the forehead here. And then you have the hair comes down, right down here. So the hair comes right down there. And that is quite light here. And she's looking down. So I can keep, and then maybe just darken this, the eyeball, yes, here. The eyeball here. Maybe also a little bit more, probably the mouth is not a little bit too far back, but let's see where the mouth should be. A vertical line from the eye, middle of the eye, right down, is where the mouth is. Vertical line. So the mouth doesn't, it feels like she's going too much to the left, but actually by measuring it, by bringing that line like this, it's exactly where it should be. Or that's how it feels at the moment. Now what I didn't put, which I ignore kind of, is this other eye here. And this other eye is right in the middle of the bone structure of the nose. So bone structure of the nose, and that's where the eye here, at least starts there. Then you have the eyebrow moving up forward like this. Then you have the forehead. Right? So this one here, that one. And then the eyebrow is lower than this side. So this eyebrow on the right, it's lower than the left. Well, it's slightly lower. And you have that. Eye, looking down, eyebrow, forehead, hairline. There you go. And a little bit of brightening up the forehead here. And that bone structure of the nose, which goes really close to the eyeball. I'm talking about this one. And moves down, 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 down. And I thought the nose was actually long, but actually it's not long. I could lower the nose a little bit lower than what I have it at the moment. Then you have the lower eye, lower lid, up lower lip. Yeah, the lower lip. Then you got the light on the chin, a bit further up, this one here. And then, okay, another one. And so basically lowering this tip of the nose here. And nostril a bit more. And the eyelid. And eyeball. She's looking down. It's a sculpting, don't forget. So we have very, very few dark lines, because everything is soft. Everything is it's obviously it's most like alabaster, the whole thing, and very, very soft changes of tonal value from the chin to the lighter part of the.
Good.
Yes, thank you. Well, I need more time for that, but on the other hand, I don't want to be too long. So look, and don't forget, highlight underneath. You see that highlight it makes the face exceed and makes the face come forward, that highlight underneath here. Obviously I've gone too bright here, but I can always come back and darken it. And the neck was quite thin here, so I probably bring the neck, look, just right under the chin, cheekbone, look, bring down, cheekbone, and that's the neck. That's where I think the neck should be. A bit further out, it was quite thin before. The earlobe is right above the nose, you got the earlobe here. And why not giving a darker shade here, look. This one. Huh? This one here. That creates, he pushes back the whole area, and plus that highlight that I've done earlier, I think here the highlight becomes one. It's not as bright. And this one here, I'm missing this line here. This one. And that is right to the jaw. And this eyebrow, here, can you see?
Yeah.
Yeah? And this eyebrow is going too far back. And I emphasize it a lot. It's actually a lot softer. There, a lot softer. And obviously the curls. Well, before I go to the curls, a little bit of emphasis here on these curls which have become right at the hairline. I just touched them. These are so sensitive. Nina is, okay, I'll see when you start drawing. It just break. I'm not putting any pressure, it just break. And then here's a look. Huh?
It's her nose a bit
Yeah,
softer.
pointy,
It's a
yeah.
bit pointy. Isn't
Oh
it?
yeah,
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 just
yeah, that's
too
a good
pointy,
point.
yeah.
That's a
Rub
good
that
point.
on,
Yeah,
yeah.
it is. You're right. Thank you. So look, very good. Further up a little bit more. There.
Softer, yeah.
Yes, softer. Nostril. And less pointy. Bring it up a bit more. Yeah, you see, because I need to go that way. Look, if I go that way, I will cut the camera. So, and then this one here, and the forehead a bit further exceeding the, yeah. So it's, you see the forehead, oh yeah, the forehead moves way beyond the nose. Look, forehead there, you got drop a vertical line, and it's way, because to me that's quite close. So I need to bring the forehead further out. And then you have hairline, and softer those darks there, softer there, and a little bit more rounded, because you see it's rounded there. To me, it's very pointed here. So that hairline, it's a bit more rounded, right here. There, something like that. And the mouth, she looked a bit, she's not very happy on me. Actually, she's quite relaxed here. So, but that, the whole difference is made because that line on me, it's moving, that line on me is moving like this.
Down,
Look.
you might go move it up.
And you see, and then look, if you have a mouth like this, or you move that middle line down, it makes her look a bit not really happy. You see what I'm doing here? Yeah. But if I do a line like that, which is the middle, then you have the upper lip, and then the lower lip. This looks more a contented lip, you see? You see?
Yeah.
Again, let me repeat it. If I do it like that, upper lip, lower lip, look. Oh, actually looks like she's smiling. But actually, if I drop it a bit more, let's say like that, she won't be looking very, but that's more of a, you see, more of a content lip in that sense, you see?
Yeah.
This one doesn't look happy. So that's what I've done on her. I've done not a happy girl. Yeah, well, thank you, Nina. So she's a bit more of a straight line, like that. There, that's better. And shadow of the lower lip onto the cheek. Uh-oh, hold on, we need to shade it here. Yeah, there. And bring those dark from the values more inwards and round it here, more of a rounded form. And softer this. Now, what I should do, if I continue with that, I'll spray this, and well, before I spray, I will bring up, highlight all the areas that I like most to be white, bright, then give it a spray, and then come back and do more middle tones, darker values. Then you have the cheekbone, and then forehead here. And obviously bring back a little bit more of a darker look, hairline here, closer to the eyebrow. And you've got all these curls which are okay. Alright, yeah, I think it's good enough. So
Yes,
yes, thank you.
it's lovely.
Thank you. Thank you. And do you want me to do that? To give her a moment.
Oh, I can't bear it.
Well, we can. Look, just to try. It gives a certain look. Look. It's okay. Look, it looks like we look in her through a tinted glass. Or like. And I can always come back and bring those highlights. I'll do that later on. But yeah, look, it's not. All right, let's go back to it and have some final touches. First of all, let's fix and highlight the very, very dark areas, which is pretty much up here. Get those darks going here. And the curls. And then the curl goes from forehead to the nose, so that is correct. Forehead to the nose with a vertical line, always with a vertical line. This eye looking down. Then you have the forehead, highlight a little bit forehead. Then you got the hairline. Then you got this dark here, which is basically the hairline, where the hairline virtually finishes. Some more darks here for the eye. And they just blend with the, and then you have the cast shadow of the eye. And then you have the nostril, which is under the eye, the nostril here, which is right here. A little bit darker, tiny darker here, and then you have this reflected light. And then in between the eye, on the eye tear duct, well, the middle of the eye, you have the mouth, which is right here, a little bit further in, further inside, then you have the mouth here, and then the end of the nostril coming down here, and that's where you have the chin. So the chin to me is going too far out, more inwards. There, the chin more of an inward, there. And a darker line. And there, the end of the chin, the edge, and you've got the cheekbone. I'm highlighting the cheekbone a little bit more. Strong edges at the back. Strong edges at the back. Then I think a narrower neck will be more appropriate here. There. And then that curl, the end of the curl, or that tip of the curl bit where the curl meets the neck is right at the mouth line, which is here. Then the earlobe, ear itself, curls, a bit darker. Then you have curls here. Darker shadows within the curls itself. Darker tonal values. Incorporating those tonal values within a very darker or darker, not very dark, but darker shadow. And also spread the same technique or the same method of shadowing, which is a diagonal, let's say lines, diagonal lines, which is basically create that shadow. There you go, the neck. And then down here, the neck, down here. Darker even. Jaw, the jaw here. With a darker line. Neck. And I think she's a bit thin here, so right under the cheekbone you got the neck here. So the neck is further back. And the chin, give it again the same diagonal shadowing. There. And a little bit of a middle tone here. Reflected light under the eye. With my brush now, get that reflected light a little bit lighter. And some of those curls a little bit softer. Take some dust from my, this is basically the sandpaper. Take some dust from the sandpaper. And apply it here. Again, it's about a certain style which I'm after here. I know that's not the case there, so maybe they do come into those lips, which I've done for the demonstration purposes. They do interfere a little bit with the image, but I can use that to my advantage, as in darkening the background and incorporating those lips onto these patches that I'm doing here. There. And getting that dark a little bit more of a softer touch here, and merge it with the material that I see here, which is basically it's marble sculpting. So get soft shadows in between, or softer shadows. Yes, dark, but not too dark at the same time. It's hard to keep a balance, because you see the brush is taking back all my darks I had previously here. And I don't want that. Some darks should stay to separate the jaw from the neck. Well, I think the putty now needs to be applied a little bit more here. Putty rubber. Highlight on the eye. Nose. Lightly on the nostril. The upper lip. Bit rounded move. Maybe bring that line here. So restrict the chin. Bring the chin more inwards this way, towards the left. Light at the forehead. Maybe the lighter background. Push the lower lip a little bit further back. Lower lip. Curls. Some highlight on the curls here. Here I find it quite light. You got rounded bits here for the masses of hair coming through here. Okay, I think it's time to give it a spray. So I can add some more darks down here. Wait. Spray. Spray. Okay, let's give it a spray. Leave it for a while. Like a minute. Till that get absorbed. Or apply some dust. Once it's still drying, take some of that dust and push it back here. Still wet. Yes, it's still wet. But I can make a change by adding a little bit of this here. To create a bit more hairline, see. But then I need to be careful because I don't want them to be the sharpest edges, so the eye focuses on them. I want it to be a lot lighter. Slightly darker here. Lower lip. A little bit more details on the features. God, that's still wet. Not wet, but it's basically, yeah, damp.
Is there something else I can help with?
Oh, come on, Siri.
I won't respond to that.
That Siri, it's been activated lately without not much reason. Don't know what's happening there. And a darker shadow here. Darker lines and darker patches. Bit softer here. And I'm slightly changing the direction that I'm shadowing it. You notice coming a little bit like that, so it follows the form. But it's a very, very small change. It's not substantial. Then you have cheekbone. That's also dark. And the curls here. A little bit darker here. Okay, well, we're getting there. Maybe a bit of emphasis on that line here to separate both eyes from each other. A bit more shadow down here. And you have the earlobe further up. And the ear itself. Emphasizing those highlights, but then on the other hand, you don't want it to be hugely too dark. So I'm emphasizing again those curls, but I think a little bit pushed back, so they do incorporate those lines in each within themselves, and they don't protrude, as in not become overly important, because obviously the eye will focus on the lines instead of focusing on the whole, basically, image and the features in themselves. So how about, because I cannot darken it with my brush. It seems the brush is just too sensitive for this area. Okay, let's do that. So how those changes, how about I create that? Why not doing this here? And that gives her a certain look again. It's all about challenging ourselves, yes? Look at that, why not? And then break that row or that flow of darks and break it with your brush and incorporate it to the figure itself there. Down here. So the eyes are, if I want to center the eye, the viewer, the eyes viewer to the eyes, I'm leaving the eyes a little bit more less blended and blend everything around them, around the portrait. Okay, I think that I like that change personally, but obviously you don't have to do that. It's about taste. Do you like the tea with a lot of sugar, or do you like the tea with very little sugar or no sugar at all? Well, I like my coffee with lots of sugar. Example. So this is my sugar, basically. Adding sugar, adding shadows, adding interest with these shadows all around the face. Again, it's all about getting out of your comfort zone. Well, that's my goal anyway. But as I said, you don't have to share it, but give it a try, because it's not a bad goal to have, to constantly change things. If you know you can draw it in a relatively realistic way, then you have to challenge yourself. Look, I can draw her realistically enough, but then I want to do something else. I want to be more of a, I don't know, incorporating 21st century with traditional drawing. Why not? And then softly getting rid of those edges down here, and it concentrates on the face a bit more. Alright, I think I had enough of this, because I'll lose patience then. And start overloading it with stuff, with details and shadows and all the rest. And I think it's interesting enough. Not good, not bad, maybe bad, but not good, but interesting enough to see. Maybe that's another way of saying it's bad, but it doesn't matter. It's a stepping stone to who knows where that will lead. All right, okay, I'll draw it and I'll speak to you on the next week. Today's 14th of